That song embodies a wide cross-section of the nation's population, young and gifted. There are lots of opportunities available for our young. Just stay connected to the Ministry of Youth to get all the details. Join them on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and other social media platforms. But
turn off the mode on your phone that gives your whereabouts.
you'll hear more from Youth Minister Lisa Hanna on the responsible use of social media. We'll also be showcasing our foods for Eat Jamaican Month. So please, stay with us as we bring you a word of advice, plus the top stories making news.
When you feeling real low, yeah, there's a great truth. You should.
Good day, I'm Tamara McHale and this is your GIS News for Monday, November 16. Jamaica is expected to generate more than 200,000 metric tons of liquefied natural gas (LNG) annually, which will be initially supplied to the domestic market. The electricity sector enterprise team ESET has announced that American company New Fortress Energy will invest more than $200 million in the construction of the LNG terminal. There are also plans to expand the terminal to supply LNG to other Caribbean countries, thereby positioning Jamaica as a regional hub for the supply of the energy source. ESET Chairman Dr. Vincent Lawrence says Cabinet has endorsed its selection of New Fortress.
And this has led to an agreement for the Government of Jamaica and New Fortress to enter into a memorandum of understanding to guide the development of the natural gas market locally and confirm the intent to develop Jamaica as a hub for the regional distribution of small-scale gas supply.
New Fortress was chosen as the developer of Jamaica's LNG project, as the company was the most competitive for the requirements of the Jamaica Public Service Company. It was selected from a list of 6 entities. The LNG terminal, which will be built, owned and operated by New Fortress, is expected to be completed by the 2017-2018 fiscal year. The National Irrigation Commission is expected to cut its annual electricity bill by about $18 million following the installation of variable frequency drives at 6 pumping stations. Funded by the Petroleum Corporation of Jamaica, the drives will better regulate the amount of current used by electric pumps. The equipment, which cost $22 million, will be installed in farming communities in Clarendon, St. Catherine, Trelawney, and St. Elizabeth.
This project is yet another example of an intervention which reflects the timely implementation of good public policy. It supports the national effort to unleash the potential of agriculture to grow the Jamaican economy and to enhance our food security.
Government is projecting that over 100,000 jobs will be created in Jamaica over the next 5 years.
We base this on the progress that has been seen thus far. From between July 2013 and July 2015, the employed labor force increased by close to 40,000 jobs, 39,600.
The finance minister made the announcement at last week's press briefing to announce that Jamaica had passed its 10th straight IMF review. He pointed out that over the last 4 years, between October 2011 and July 2015, a total of 63,900 jobs were added to the labor force. Dr. Phillips said the country was expected to maintain that momentum, given the specific investments in tourism, business process outsourcing, agriculture, and manufacturing. But he stressed that government had to maintain fiscal discipline, improve the business environment, reduce bureaucracy, and grow the economy. Government has been commended for the steps taken so far to improve efficiency, accountability, and customer service in the public sector. The President and Chief Executive Officer of Scotia Group Jamaica, Jacqueline Sharp, says that under the Public Sector Transformation Program, there has been significant progress, including the creation of executive agencies with specific mandates.
We have seen the time lag for processing documents and turnaround times being reduced in some areas. And we have seen transactions can now be done through new channels online, and the overlaps in some departments have been greatly reduced.
Mrs. Sharp also urged public sector workers to continue the modernization process so that Jamaica could achieve Vision 2030. She was speaking at the launch of Civil Service Week 2015, being observed under the theme, Diligently and Relentlessly Pursuing Quality Public Services for Sustainable Development. There are a number of activities to mark the week, which will end on November 20. On Tuesday, there is an exposition and concert at the Emancipation Park, followed by the Jamaica Civil Service Long Service Awards on Wednesday. Ministries, departments, and agencies will have in-house activities on Thursday and participate in a quiz competition and an after-work lime on Friday. The Civil Servant of the Year Award for 2015-2016 went to Barbara Allen, Senior Director Planning and Development in the Ministry of Education. Second place went to Courtney Brown from the Ministry of National Security, and Earl Ranger of the Jamaica Defence Force copped the third prize. Beverly Thomas Barnett from the Ministry of Education was the other finalist. Effective today, November 16, the Office of the Prime Minister, OPM, and the Ministry of Education will have new permanent secretaries. The Public Service Commission announced that Mrs. Elaine Foster Allen, who was the permanent secretary in the Ministry of Education, would take up that same position within the OPM. The post became vacant following the resignation of Anika Miller. The new permanent secretary for the Education Ministry is Dr. Maurice Smith, the former director principal of the National College for Educational Leadership. Both Mrs. Foster Allen and Dr. Smith have held a number of leadership positions locally and overseas. And finally, Prime Minister Portia Simpson Miller has condemned the heartless and barbaric terrorist attacks in France on Friday, November 13. In a release, the Prime Minister said Jamaica was committed to fighting all forms of terrorism in tandem with the international community. The Prime Minister added that Jamaica stood in solidarity with the government and people of France and extended deepest sympathies to the bereaved families. More than 100 people were killed in a series of terrorist attacks in Paris, France on Friday. Foreign Affairs Minister Senator A.J. Nicholson and his opposition counterpart Edmund Bartlett have also condemned the incident. So far, no Jamaicans have been reported injured in the terrorist attacks. And that's it for JIS News today. I'm Tamara McHale. Thanks for watching.
Jamaica, among the top 10 most improved economies in the world. That's right, our island's business environment has advanced to the extent that the World Bank has noticed. The multilateral agency has named Jamaica one of the most improved economies globally in which to do business in its newly released Doing Business Report 2016. This ranking is attributed to Jamaica's implementation of 4 major reforms over the past year. Investors have noticed too and are coming on board. So let's continue to work together to make Jamaica the place of choice to do business.
Prime Minister Portia Simpson Miller and her team at Jamaica House were kept busy this past week. Their engagements included the launch of a campaign to protect children, a press briefing to announce lower interest rates for new NHD borrowers, and response to the terror attack on Paris, France. Take a look.
Jamaica pledges support for and solidarity with France after Paris terrorist attacks. New NHD applicants get increased loan ceiling and a drop in interest rates. Jamaica thanks World Bank for being trusted development partner. With Jamaica House Weekly, I'm Andrea Chisholm. In condemning the heartless and barbaric terrorist attacks in France on Friday night, Prime Minister Portia Simpson Miller pledged Jamaica's solidarity and support for that country. In a statement, Mrs. Simpson Miller reiterated the island's commitment to fighting terrorism in cooperation with the international community. She also extended the island's deepest sympathies to the bereaved families. Over 120 persons were killed and scores more injured in terror attacks across Paris on November 13. There have been no reports of Jamaican casualties. Locally, the Portia Simpson Miller-led administration has announced that new National Housing Trust beneficiaries would now get a 1% reduction in interest rates. The loan ceiling for applicants who are buying and constructing in new housing developments also increased to $5.5 million, $1 million more than before. Minister responsible for Information, Senator Sandria Faulkner, revealed Cabinet's decision during last Wednesday's Jamaica House press briefing.
The average NHT contributor requires more money to pursue their home ownership dream. In addition to improving affordability, the new measures will also help to stimulate construction startups and generate employment in the important construction industry.
On Tuesday, Senator Faulkner received a gift from the Korean government, which was 3 years in the making. The information minister collected a check for $20,000 to purchase and install a digital audiovisual archival system for government media.
As we progress as a nation, it is important that the environment exists for the preservation of our invaluable archival and historical material. As a government, we believe that our people must know their story and their history, and this wonderful gift will help us to achieve that goal.
The digital archival system will be housed at the PBCJ. Once installed, the system will be accessible to other public bodies such as the JIS, CPTC, JARD, and the IOJ. Before that announcement, Prime Minister Simpson Miller was in Hanover for 2 functions. She attended a cocktail reception to welcome the return of a medical mission from the Northeast Florida Medical Society. The 57 doctors, led by Dr. Kenneth Jones, delivered free medical care to persons in Hanover and St. James from November 9 to 13.
You visit to offer your services at a time when there's much public discussion about the needs of Jamaica's healthcare system. Your contribution is especially valuable at this time. I'm particularly heartened by the wide range of services that will be offered. I am advised that the medical team will be offering surgical, dental, and other services and providing medication at Cornwall Regional and Falmouth hospitals, as well as in health centers.
The reception held at the Grand Palladium and Lady Hamilton resorts also served as the launch of the hotel's initiative to protect children from sexual exploitation in the travel and tourism sector. Mrs. Simpson Miller commended the hotel's endorsement of the End Child Prostitution, Child Pornography and Trafficking of Children for Sexual Purposes ECPAT Code of Conduct.
I am pleased to see resorts such as Grand Palladium working together with other organizations around the world to eliminate child prostitution and the trafficking of children for sexual purposes. We must all work together as government, private sector, and civil society to protect our children.
Later in the week, Prime Minister Simpson Miller held a welcome reception for the new country manager for the World Bank Country Office in Jamaica, Galina Sotirova. At Wednesday's function, Mrs. Simpson Miller said the World Bank had been a trusted and vital partner in Jamaica's development for the past 52 years. She added that the World Bank had provided funding of $510 million for the 2014-2017 country partnership strategy. World Bank investment projects as at September 2015 totaled $229 million. The Jamaica Social Investment Fund and the Program of Advancement through Health and Education PATH are also beneficiaries of the World Bank.
The World Bank also supports development in economic infrastructure, the productive sector, and social infrastructure by way of both grant funding and loans. I want again to place on record Jamaica's gratitude to the World Bank for its support of Jamaica's development through these vital programs.
Mrs. Simpson Miller also made time on Wednesday to meet with the island's youth. To mark Local Government and Community Month, the 2015 Youth Mayors paid a visit to the Prime Minister at Jamaica House. Mrs. Simpson Miller encouraged the students to distinguish themselves as excellent representatives of their parish and to work hard and aspire for greatness. The Prime Minister also received a delegation from the Youth Entrepreneurs Association of Jamaica as part of Youth Month activities. By Thursday, Mrs. Simpson Miller was receiving German non-profit foundation Frederick Ebert Stiftung. She used the opportunity to express government's appreciation for the foundation's support in the areas of finance as well as scholarships and training. Mrs. Simpson Miller also congratulated the non-profit on its 90th anniversary. On Friday, the Prime Minister was at the National Stadium cheering on the island's national football team, the Reggae Boys. The boys went down 2-0 to Panama in their matchup. By Saturday, Mrs. Simpson Miller hosted a cocktail fundraiser for her foundation at a private residence in Kingston. The Portia Simpson Miller Foundation assists needy Jamaicans in the areas of medicine and education. This past September, the foundation issued $5 million in tuition and miscellaneous fees to 41 tertiary-level students from 11 institutions. And on Sunday, she was in St. Catherine for the 90th anniversary of the New Testament Church of God in Jamaica and the Cayman Islands at Bayside, Port Moore. Mrs. Simpson Miller brought her message of proper parenting and child care and protection to the congregation. She encouraged the parents, community members, and institutions to spend quality time with the nation's children.
This is the surest way to build a strong relationship based on trust while fostering their growth and development. My government remains committed to ensuring that the nation's children are protected. However, this is an area of national life that cannot be left only to the government. It requires all parents, teachers, pastors, community leaders, and every adult in the society to take care of our nation's children.
And the Office of the Prime Minister has a new permanent secretary. Elaine Foster Allen was reassigned from the Education Ministry to Jamaica House on Friday. She replaces Onika Miller, who resigned from the post in October. And that's it for this week's edition of Jamaica House Weekly. Join us next time for the latest stories coming out of the Office of the Prime Minister.
Be an active participant in your child's life. Spend time with your child. No phones, no television, no distractions. Just the two of you. Get to know your child through play. Why not go to the park and get on the monkey bars? Sharing a meal can also be a time of bonding. If your child's in school, be involved in school activities. Speak with your child's teacher. Follow up on their progress in school and see how you can help. Assist them with homework. Attend parent-teacher meetings and support school fundraising events. Remember, your child's future is in your hands. Safeguard it.
So glad you are a child of mine.
Sweet, sweet Jamaica, we not left ya. Chop yam and banana, we not left ya.
Finger-licking jerk chicken, Helcher fish and bami, we run down yam and banana, roast breadfruit, sweet potato pudding. Jamaica food sweet. So let's make a pledge to use more local produce and less foreign goods. Let's grow what we eat and eat what we grow.
Oh yes, Jamaica's food is indeed sweet, but it's not only sweet, it's nutritious. Whet your appetite with this next feature.
As the world marvels at the lightning speed of the likes of Usain Bolt and Veronica Campbell-Brown, many have asked, is it in the food? Perhaps the yellow yam?
969.
When we roast the yellow yam, when we roast the yellow yam, and we slice it in a two, and we slice it in a two.
The skin is brown, sometimes black, and some say scaly. Peel away the outer layer and get to the heart of its starchy goodness. There you'll find fulfillment and a taste that is as distinctive as the indescribable talent of our trailblazing athletic stars. More importantly, in the heart of our yams are essential nutrients for healthy living: vitamins C and B6, potassium, manganese, fiber, and iron. These nutrients converge in several varieties of the Jamaican yam, a tuber with off-white, purple, white, yellow, and sometimes red flesh, depending on the variety. For every type of yam, there is a uniquely Jamaican name, like renta, yampi, moonshine, or afu. Whatever the name, they're all edible, just so long as you cook them first. And with thousands of acres of fertile land, yam production is an island-wide vocation in Jamaica. But you might be surprised, or not, to know that the most popular yam-producing parish, Trelawney, is also the home of the world's fastest man.
Corrected to 969, the relax.
Usain Bolt, tremendous running by this man.
Daylight come and me want go home. Work all night.
From jerk to curry recipes, Jamaican cooking is all about the spices sourced right on the island. With the support of the state entity responsible for managing all things agricultural, the Ministry of Agriculture and Fisheries, Jamaica's spice producers are on the verge of stamping a bolder mark on the competitive international industry, with many programs unfurling to increase the production of traditional spices like ginger, turmeric, nutmeg and pimento, and non-traditional spices such as hot peppers and onion. And the possibilities are bountiful. Take ginger and turmeric, for example. Both grow with relative ease almost anywhere on the island. In fact, travel to some places in Jamaica and you can find turmeric growing wild, unfettered by any environmental condition that could stunt its growth. Whether for use as a condiment, for its healing properties, or simply for coloring, consumers worldwide can't seem to get enough turmeric. Global trade in turmeric has been trending up, and so have prices. As for Jamaican ginger, it has long been considered among, if not the best in the world. Current global demand for Jamaican ginger is estimated at 21,000 metric tons in its fresh form and 4,200 tons dried, and there's room for growth. Jamaica is a tiny giant in the world of agro-processed foods. Island producers are dishing out big, unique flavors, employing ingenuity and utilizing the support of state agencies to steadily eke out more of the international market for these goods. Jamaican companies like Central Food Packers are making a mark on this agricultural offshoot, exporting quality canned, bottled and baked foods to markets in North America, the United Kingdom, Canada and the Caribbean. Included in the mix are mild to spicy hot sauces, jams and jellies, a must if you want to proclaim your Jamaicanness. Ackee, delivered to you in a can, and for a bit of green delight, callaloo canned in brine. Then there are some unique Jamaican spreads for your breads and biscuits, like a dab of Solomon Gundy or a spoonful of delicious mango, sorrel or tamarind chutney. And let's not forget the roots wines. Jamaica's value-added agro-processors are engaged in other sweet pursuits. Companies like Honeykiss are churning out all-natural honey confections. As they'll tell you, and you can taste for yourself, pure Jamaican wildflower honey is infused with just a choops of natural unique fruits, vegetables and spices, ginger, Blue Mountain coffee, pimento, allspice, Scotch bonnet pepper. Sweet, aromatic, rich, strong are entirely inadequate labels. Have a taste of authentic Jamaican honey and what you'll get is a pure, honest flavor, aroma and taste, and medicinal benefits that make healthy living absolutely enticing. Whether your delight is tea, coffee or maybe cocoa, Jamaican value-added producers have carved out a reputation for delivering only the best. Jamaica is known for its lush landscapes, revered for its music, celebrated for its track stars, and the world is hooked on our coffee. And it's hardly surprising. The species of choice in the Jamaican coffee industry, Arabic coffee, is widely accepted as producing the far superior cup. And Blue Mountain is the brand best loved by coffee connoisseurs from near and far, commanding high prices wherever it's sold. Cultivated high up in the misty blue-hued mountains of the island, maturing in rich volcanic-based soil, only the best bright red cherries are hand-picked, sun-dried, stored, cured, hulled, polished, sized, hand-sorted and packaged to bring the highest quality coffee to your tables. The end product is a cup of exceptionally balanced, exotic and intense aroma with an intricate range of flavor notes that is said to include a subtle hint of herbs, spice and chocolate. So, what's your delight? Whatever it is, Jamaican farmers and end producers are uniquely and creatively positioned to deliver. In this land of wood and water, champions are not just made for the tracks, they're also found in the fields and in the shopping carts of discerning consumers the world over.
Enjoy yourself in your homeland. A little more. I and I rope in. Go rubber dub it. Wanna I will lick a scene.
Youth and youth, we want you to use social media to stay connected to what's happening around you. But even as you do, keep these tips in mind.
Here are 4 tips that I would give you as your Minister of Youth and as just someone who has a child who is your age. 1. Turn off the mode on your phone that gives your whereabouts. For those of us who have Samsungs or Blues or iPhones, there is a mechanism on it which asks for location. Turn it off. Do not put where you are if you are making a post. You are not to do it. It compromises your security. Do not at home stand up in front of your car or your parents' car or someone else's car and show the license plate number. It compromises your security. Do not post, for those of us who have children, don't post the school that they go to. So oftentimes, yes, try and post pictures that are not in your uniform. Because if somebody is trying to find you, they will come to your school. And they will lay away the journey at your school. Also, for those of you, sometimes change up your route. Right? Change up your route. If you take this taxi, tell the taxi man to drive you next way or next time. Or the same thing, delay 15 minutes on the bus, every once in a while. Or if your parents are driving you to school, change up the route. Sometimes go a little earlier, or maybe 10 minutes later. Also, don't post your moods or what you're thinking. So, mood, depressed. Mood, don't do it. People actually follow it and target you. Some of the own people in your own class as well do it, to see what they can get out of you. And people who want to abuse children and other youth follow your moods and how you respond to things, and they bully you. So try and be a little bit more responsible. Social media is not a compromise, neither is it a substitute from human interaction. So you might be feeling something and you're just afraid to tell your brethren or your sister, look, what you did to me yesterday was really unacceptable and I'd really like to talk about it and we'll work it out. Or you have a problem with your mother or your father. No. The go-to response now is to go on your Instagram and say, sticks and stones might break my bones, but words will never hurt me. Thinking that the person is actually going to realize that you're talking about them. No, don't do it. The other thing I will say to you is this. Don't let anybody bribe you with technology, because that also compromises your security. Anybody who can tell you that they can sell you a Samsung phone for $40,000 is thief them thief it.
And that's how we close today's edition of Jamaica Magazine. Have questions or comments? Email us at jamaicamagazine@jis.gov.jm. Keep connected by liking us on Facebook, adding us to Twitter, or downloading our mobile app from the Google Play Store. Our website, jis.gov.jm, is always up and running with all things Jamaican, so do pay us a visit. On behalf of the entire team here at the JIS, I'm Adrian Atkinson, thanking you for watching.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.